So we actually have some breaking news just this morning that the Biden administration cannot wait any longer. They have to secure the US border because now both parties are coming at them asking for some additional help. But here's what I can tell you. Right now, immigration surges as the top of the most important problem list. This is something according to the Gallup polls. Now, I want to break this down in just a moment, explain what the Biden administration is doing, why it's coming at this time, and why some say this could actually happen by the end of this month. So make sure you stick around for this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is going on and what the Biden administration plans on doing about this moving forward. But all I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. Immigration is now the top priority for many voters. And according to this Gallup article, it says this is the first time immigration has been the single most important problem since 2019. You probably remember in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, we had things like COVID. We had things like inflation. Those were extremely problematic. But now it's immigration. And the reason why is because cities are getting overwhelmed. For instance, Denver, that is a city that's overwhelmed with migrants from the US southern border. But New York City is overwhelmed as well. New York City is spending $387 per migrant. Okay? This is incredibly difficult because New York City does not have the funding to be able to back this. And Democratic mayors and governors have been asking the Biden administration for some more help. However, it is not coming, or they thought it wasn't coming. But look at this. The Biden administration and President Biden himself are exploring if the president has the power to shut down the border unilaterally. Now, here's the thing. This is the key here. President Biden, in the past, in previous situations, he has went and actually provided some type of executive action, and it was later taken to court. He was sued because of this. That had to do with student loan forgiveness. That is still held up in the courts. Here's what I can tell you. The Biden administration is now telling him that you have to do something because we are getting crushed. Just listen to this. This is Fox Business's Peter Ducey. He has this to say. Listen to this.
More. Peter, you have breaking news this morning.
Yeah, that President Biden is likely to sign an executive order that would limit illegal border crossings by the end of this month. That is according to a report in Axios that is also detailing this new fight in the West Wing among Biden staffers who don't want to lock the border down the way that Trump did because they think it's inhumane, and between Biden staffers who see the polls and they can see that they are getting clobbered here at the White House by Republicans on the issue of immigration and the border.
So it is because of staffers, because of certain Democratic lawmakers that they are struggling. They are getting hammered in the polls. This is what we've seen over the past several months, is Democrats were getting hammered. Okay? And I've said this before, and I was saying this back when former President Donald Trump was in office and we had the Trump administration, that the party that is in power, which currently is Democrats, previously was Republicans, that is the party that will get hammered no matter what. It does not matter if it's a Republican priority, a Democratic priority, if it was a Democratic problem, if they were the ones that created it. It doesn't matter. Whoever's in power right now is going to be hammered because of the current crisis. Granted, President Biden did use executive action, and he reversed many of the Trump policies, which made the border what it is today. But the interesting thing is, how are we going to fix this? Well, here's what I can tell you. President Biden says he may have the authority to close the border on his own. And I want to read you what he had to say. Just look at this. He says, and I quote, "We're examining whether or not I have the power. There's no guarantee that I have that power all by myself without legislation. And some have suggested I should just go ahead and try it. And if I get shut down by the court, I get shut down by the court. But we're trying to work that out, work through that right now. And again, the bipartisan bill that went through the Senate, this collapsed, okay? And the reason why it collapsed was because of this number right here. It would actually give President Biden the ability to allow up to 5,000 migrants into the U.S. every single day without him having to shut down the border. Republicans said, absolutely no way are we going to give you a minimum number, because essentially that means every single day 4,999 people could come into the United States and he would not have to shut the border down. Well, simple. You just get that number to 4,999 every single day and tell people, hey, you got to stop. You can't go through until tomorrow, until 12 o'clock at midnight. You can start walking across that border. Republicans said, no, absolutely no way are we going to allow this to happen. But here's what I can tell you. According to Axios, they say Biden's plan, okay, is to get something done by the end of this month. All right? I want to explain this. Here's what it says on Axios. It says, between the lines, the provision Biden is eyeing would restrict the ability of immigrants to claim asylum and doesn't require congressional approval, according to Axios. It says Biden would use authority in Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, which gives the president broad leeway to block entry of certain immigrants if it would be detrimental to U.S. national interests. I talked about this morning and I said that what many people are concerned with, the FBI and Homeland Security included, they are concerned that the Biden administration is allowing too many people into the United States. We have no clue where they're coming from, where they're going, or what their intentions are. That is troubling. You look at any other country, they want to know, where are you coming from? Where do you plan to go? Where are you going to stay? Which hotel? Which family member? Okay? They want a phone number. They want an address. They want to know, how are they connected to you? And then, what are your intentions while you're within our country? Are you going to go to Disneyland? Are you planning to go, gamble at the casinos in Vegas? Do you want to go see the Statue of Liberty? What do you want to do? And how long are you going to be doing it for? Those are all key questions that you are asked. Even when you come into the United States, or let's say I go to Mexico, they ask, well, what do you plan on doing here? How long do you plan to be here? How do they ask that in other countries? But here in the U.S., we just say, come on in. Well, that's a problem. But here's the thing. Right here, this section right here, it says, President Biden would be taking a page from former President Trump, who has repeatedly leaned on that section. That is section 212F. Okay? The reason why I'm bringing this to your attention today is because, and I said this was going to happen, we are going to see lawmakers on both sides, Republican and Democratic lawmakers, are going to try to propose certain things. Because they know if they propose an idea, then the media is going to pick it up, myself included. I'm going to tell you what's there, what they're thinking, and if it gets rejected, well, then they can be like, well, we offered this, we tried this, and this is exactly what President Biden's going to do. He's going to try to enact some type of executive action. Okay, he's going to take this. And if it gets blocked by Republicans or by the courts, President Biden's going to come out and say, well, we tried to do this and Republicans blocked us. But at the same time, how effective is his executive action going to be? That we don't know until it actually goes through. But what I can tell you right now is Democrats do not want to lock the border down like former President Donald Trump did. One of the reasons why, not because they are concerned with national security, because I think most people are, but they do not want to come forward and say what former President Donald Trump did worked and we were wrong. They can't afford to do that, especially when we're a handful of months away from a presidential election. So that's what's going on today. As soon as we get more information on this, I promise I will bring you all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.